A very warm greetings to all of you. Today, the topic of my discussion is column chromatography. Myself, Dr. Priyadarshini R.K. For detailed insight of my topic, the contents of my presentation are Introduction to column chromatography, Principle of column chromatography, Requirements of column chromatography, Factors affecting column efficiency, Advantages and limitations, and finally its application. Point number one, introduction to column chromatography. When I have used the term called as chromatography, what do you mean by chromatography? Yes, chromatography is an advanced continuous technique of separation where the mixture of components are separated into an individual component, and column chromatography is a type of chromatographic technique where the components have been separated, and column chromatography was first employed in Russia by an Italian born scientist Michael Twist. And whenever we talk about chromatography, it consists of two different phases that I have already discussed with you in my previous lectures as well as my videos. Now I want everyone to please think for a moment what are the two different phases that utilized in chromatography for the separation. Yes, that is stationary phase and a mobile phase. When a column of a stationary phase is utilized, it is known as column chromatography. Here, the column of a stationary phase can be any. Either it can be a solid or liquid, but it will be called as absorption chromatography or column chromatography. Second point is the principle of a column chromatography. Here, a solid stationary phase and a liquid mobile phase is used, and the principle of separation is absorption. Now here a typical diagrammatic representation of a column chromatography is given over here. At the base of this column, a cotton plug or a glass wool or a asbestos pad or a filter paper disc is kept over here, and above it a stationary phase is been filled, and above stationary phase again a filter paper disc has been kept over here for a proper fixing of a stationary phase in this column, and a mobile phase is allowed to continuously flow through this column from this an input, and a sample that has to be separated by this column chromatography has to be kept on the top of this column. Here the flow of sample is according to the affinity of a component into an stationary phase. Like for example, the components which is having more affinity towards stationary phase will travel slow and elute later on, whereas the components which is having less affinity towards stationary phase will travel fast from the column and elute out first. Now here the separation of various components are possible by different zones of separation over here, and depending upon the affinity of that particular individual component on the stationary phase, whereas the rate of movement of component R is given by a formula, that is R equals to distance traveled by solute divided by distance traveled by solvent, and whenever this rate of movement is been calculated for the liquid mobile phase, it has been given by the equation R equals to Am upon Am plus alpha As. Am stands for average cross section of mobile phase divided by Am stands for average cross section of mobile phase plus alpha As. As stands for average cross section of stationary phase, whereas alpha stands for partition coefficient. Now again I want everyone to please think for a moment, what do you mean by partition coefficient? Yes, exactly. The partition coefficient is being denoted by the symbol called as alpha, and alpha equals to concentration of a stationary phase divided by concentration of mobile phase when we are talking about the chromatography for the separations. Okay. Next is the instrumentation of a column chromatography, or you can also call it as a practical requirements of column chromatography or either requirements of column chromatography. First requirement is type of adsorbents. There are three different types of adsorbents, that is weak, medium and strong, can be utilized for the chromatography. Weak absorbents are sucrose, starch, inulin, talc, sodium carbonate, and medium are calcium carbonates, calcium phosphate, magnesium carbonates, magnesium oxides, and calcium hydroxides. And strong adsorbents are activated magnesium silica, which is also called as silica gel, activated aluminum, activated charcoal, activated magnesia, and finally Fuller's earth. Apart from this, there are many more adsorbents utilized for the column chromatographic conditions. Second most important instrumentation is selection of a stationary phase. Now, in case of a column, the successful completion of a column chromatographic conditions, stationary phase plays a most important role. Now here, what are the different factors that has to be taken into consideration while selection of the stationary phase? That is removal of impurity, number of components to be separated, affinity difference between components, and quantity of absorbent utilized. Here, removal of impurity means like when a small amount of impurity is present and a lot of difference between a impurity and a major factor is been there, at that time a weak absorbent can be utilized. Second category is number of components to be separated. If there are more complex substances present in the sample, the components has to be separated by the strong stationary phase, or either if there is less complex substances, weak stationary phase can also be utilized. Third category is factors affinity difference between the component. Here the affinity difference between the component means what? In a particular sample, if two components are having similar affinity towards stationary phase, at that time strong stationary phase is required for the separation. Or either if there is a difference between affinity, weak or medium stationary phase can also be designed. Quantity of the absorbent used. Now here adsorbent equals to adsorbent ratio has to be taken into consideration in the most important criteria. Like adsorbent should be 1% is to 20% or 1% is to 30%. Absorbent is to absorbent ratio has to be utilized for the proper selection of mobile phase. Third instrumentation is 3.3 point is mobile phase. Here mobile phase plays in again the most important role. These are the following functions of the mobile phase. Like mobile phase act as a solvent, developer and as an eluent over here. Introduction of a mixture into a column as a solvent is been done by the mobile phase. The mobile phase is helpful for the development of various zones of separation. It acts as a developing agent and to remove pure component out of the column as an eluent. Point number 3.4, column characteristic. The material utilized for the column should be of good quality, mostly of the neutral glass type. Whereas the column should be utilized in a particular length is to diameter, like 10 is to 1 or 20 is to 1. But for more efficient separation, the column should be in the diameter of length is to diameter into 100 is to 1. And there are two types of packing technique in the column most commonly utilized, that is dry filling packing technique and wet fill packing technique. In case of dry fill packing technique, the required amount of adsorbent is packed in the column in a dry form and solvent is allowed to flow through the column till the equilibrium is reached over here. And next type is the required amount of absorbent is mixed with the mobile phase, that is solvent, in a beaker in the form of a suspension or slurry, and then it is poured in a column, and this technique is known as wet fill packing technique, which is the most commonly utilized technique. Next point is introduction of sample. See here the sample is usually a mixture of components which is dissolved in a minimum quantity of mobile phase used for the preparation of column, or solvent of a minimum polarity has been utilized. Here the entire sample is introduced at the top of column at once only and it get absorbed throughout the portion of the column, and from it the zones of individual components or individual samples are being separated by the process of elution over here. Next category is point number 3.6 is development of technique. Here the development of elution technique are having three criteria like isocratic elution technique, gradient elution technique and other techniques such as called as frontal analysis. Isocratic elution technique means a single mobile phase is utilized over here for the entire separation of mixture of components into an individual component. Gradient elution technique means in this elution technique, solvents gradually by increasing their polarity are being utilized for the analysis. Initially, the low polar substances are utilized and followed with the increasing polarity of the substance. Like for example, initially benzene has been taken, then ethyl acetate and then methanol, and followed the separation has been carried out. Next method is other technique like frontal analysis. Here, the elution concentration versus volume of eluent, a graph is being plotted where how much compounds are being eluted from the column is properly studied. Next technique is detection of the component. Now see, detection of color components can be done visually, but for the colorless compounds, the technique depends upon the following compounds, like different properties which can be utilized as absorption of light, fluorescence of light, or light emission characteristic, flame ionization detectors, evaporation of solvent and weighing of residues. Like evaporation of solvents and weighing in residues, it is one again most important technique. Monitoring the fractions by TLC is been done. Next is recovery of component. See, by cutting the column into different several zones, it can be recovered. The best technique for the process is elution. The recovered fractions are detected by the detection technique. Similar fractions are again mixed so that bulk must be obtained in a purest form. In if the fractions still contain several kinds of impurities, at that time what has to be done, the another column is to be utilized for the proper separation for the recovery of that particular components over here. Next is, what are the different factors which affect the column efficiency? Dimensions of column, particle size of the adsorbents, nature of solvents, temperature of column, and pressure. See, in case of dimensions of column, the length is to diameter ratio should be 20 is to 1 or 30 is to 1 are mostly ideal. But for more improved efficiency, 100 is to 1 can be also satisfactorily utilized. Particle size of adsorbent again plays a most important role. Absorbent activity depends upon the surface area of adsorbent over here. For increasing the surface area, the particle size should be reduced, and hence the absorbent activity increases. Now, nature of solvent, how the nature of solvent should be there? The flow rate of the solvent is affected by the viscosity. First of all, the flow rate is inversely proportional to the viscosity. Hence, less viscous solvents are better efficient than more viscous solvents. Temperature of the column, speed of elution is increased by the higher temperature. For better absorption, power should be reduced and higher temperature should be applied over here. Pressure, again the pressure difference plays a most important role. Like high pressure above the column and low pressure below the column increases the efficiency of separation. Next point is advantages and limitations. Advantages is expensive choice of mobile phase, as well as it is a very extensive approach of mobile phase can be utilized over here. There are tremendous availability of mobile phase is over here. So any mobile phase can be utilized depending upon the polarity of that particular component that has to be separated, and stationary phase and mobile phase has to be chosen. Any type of mixtures can be separated, like microgram to milligram can be utilized for the separation. In preparative samples can be separated, and it can also be reutilized for the analysis. And there are certain limitations, like it is a time consuming process, as the column has to be fully saturated by the mobile phase and then the sample is applied for the separation. It requires lot of time, so it is a time consuming process, and more amount of solvents are required which are very expensive. Automation makes this a complicated and expansion. Proper type of automation is required if it is been handled by a particular advanced instrumental technical person. The proper automation is been possible over here. So next point is its application. Separation of mixtures are done into an individual components by this technique. Removal of impurity, and it is a best purification process over here. Isolation of active constituents are possible. Isolation of metabolites from the biological fluids can be done by this process. And last but not least, estimation of drugs and formulations and crude drugs can also be possible. Apart from these important applications, there are tremendous many more important applications of the column chromatography. And if you have any doubt regarding this presentation, you can write it for me in the chat box. And thank you everyone for listening to me very patiently and very thankful to you.